Hello and welcome. It's just gone 7, lovely sunny July day. I'm in Bakaw in northeastern Poland. This is approximately 30 kilometers or thereabouts to the current Russian border, a little bit further but not a lot to the Lithuanian border. And you can see that this is a fortification here, and I'm standing at a place which was once the border. In fact, the border wasn't exactly here, obviously, because the fortifications are here. This was the border between Tsarist Russia and Wilhelmine Germany, border between East Prussia and Poland. Later, the border followed the line more or less of the Rospuda River, although it was to our side of the Rospuda River for part of its course, so it didn't exactly follow the Rospuda River. But here, I'm sure you'd agree that this is an absolutely excellent defensive position. It would be even more excellent in 1939 because then the vegetation was clear to offer a clear line of fire. And now we have over here the former border village of Bakaw, and the road leading to what is today between Olecko, then before that Trojberg or Margrabowa, changed its name to Trojberg in 1927, and from there to Suwałki, which is 22 kilometers from here. So that would lead through this border village here. Now the village itself, to say a little bit about the history of it, it was like most border villages, they were quite wealthy because there's a lot of trade going on at border points. And so a village which was to a large extent Jewish for most of the 19th century, although the Jewish population fell due to the policies of the Russian government, so people left because of the racist policies, and so the Catholic population actually grew. In 1939, the writing was clearly on the wall, and some Jews started leaving already in the summer. You know, the mill owner, for example, he sold his mill and he went off to Suwałki. Following the occupation, then most of the Jewish population, I think, was actually deported to Suwałki, and from Suwałki they were deported to places such as Łuków and Międzyrzec Podlaski in the northern part of the Lublin region. I've done videos from these places so you can actually see those to see what happened to what these places look like today. Of course, people who were refugees did not stand a very good chance of living much longer because they were totally destitute. So they've been forced to leave their homes here, move to Suwałki, probably with nothing, then probably from Suwałki to Międzyrzec with absolutely nothing, no possessions. They had nothing they could potentially sell because it would have either been stolen from them or they'd had to abandon it. So that's the fate of the population from here. There is actually a Jewish cemetery in the forest down there. Really nice location overlooking the lake into which the Rospuda River flows. Now, at the beginning of World War II, there was no fighting in this area. But it was a Polish cavalry raid. There was a number of raids on the first 4 days of the war into East Prussia, or into villages on the border. A place called Reuss, which is now Ciemochy, and that's about 20 kilometers from here. And there was quite a lot of damage done. According to an article I read in one of the newspapers, which is dating to October 1939, claiming, probably exaggerating the amount of damage. But in revenge for that, Bakaw was attacked on the 3rd, and so there was fighting here on 3rd and 4th of September. On the 8th of September 1939, the village was largely destroyed. Largely, I say, because you can see obviously the church is still there. But if you look, walking around today, there's very few wooden buildings which date to before the war still standing. There are one or two, but there's very few. There are clearly buildings which are older in the market square, for example, but they weren't made of wood. So that may be the reason why they survived. So this line is a line of a number of fortifications built at huge cost, it needs to be said, because you've got something like a cupola like this. I saw the technical details for it. Now I've forgotten them, but the weight is very, very heavy. And in fact, there's components in it from the iron ore came from Sweden. I think it's got molybdenum in it, which came from Turkey, and it's also got something in it from the United States. So the products that went into this, given the state of the German economy in the 1930s, it just show the effort they put into doing things like this, but not doing anything for the standard of living of the population of Germany. Inside this, so this is on this fortification at the top of this hill, and if I come around to the back down here, you can see how high it is. I'm not going to go to the edge, but there you go. You can see it's quite a drop, so it's a bit like falling out of a building in Russia, and falling down there. And so this would have been on, say, 3 levels. And at the top here it would be armed with 2 MG34 machine guns. I've got a video of it, incidentally, of me using an MG34. Sorry, not using, because I wasn't firing it. It was found actually not all that far from here. Well, about 150 kilometers from here, but it's found in a field, probably from 1944, the fighting in 1944, I suspect. And so it was at a very long range. So I mean, for example, you've got the church over there, and a machine gun could very easily get MG34 could hit somebody on that church. Use that as an example. With range of up to 3.5 kilometers, but effective range about 1.5 kilometers. I think the specifications state 1,600 meters, I think. Now this thing here, of course, they've got the holes in it, and the embrasures could be opened or closed from inside, and there wasn't a lot of room at the top, obviously, but so ammunition was passed up, and the MG34 was belt fed, so people would be there'd be supporting soldiers inside passing ammunition up. So you'd have a crew for something like this, 12 to 16 people, something like that. The point, obviously, of this is just really defensive, but it's very difficult to take something out like this. So the way that's normally shown is by the use of flame throwers, for example. I mean, the idea of getting close enough to stick a grenade down, you'd have to be a remarkably good shot and incredibly brave to do that, and bearing in mind that none of this vegetation was actually here then. Let's have a bit more wander around and see what we can see. The views here, I'm sure you'd agree, are absolutely magnificent. Now we have other fortifications here. There's a number of them in this area. A bit further down there's actually a bunker which seems to have been made for the point of just for protection, as a shelter. There we see to the bunker coming through here. Won't be open yet because it's only just gone 7. if it's open at all. Well, it looks as though it's open now. Right, so down here we've got 2 entrances. That was quite normal. And there was also an emergency exit as well. So putting up 2 entrances, well, that stands to reason. If one, for whatever reason, got hit, the exit would be something be underground. It would be leading off from the social room of where the soldiers sort of hung out and slept, and that there'd have been some kind of safety on it, so a big piece of metal or something. You pulled that away and then the door would open, but behind the door there was gravel or grit or something like this, so it couldn't easily be found. And when the door was opened, the grit would fall inside, and those that needed to use the emergency exit would have to clamber up like that. And people are here, and we'll have a quick look in here. There you go. So as always, you'd expect to see a machine gun or at least some kind of like that, so people, and not just anybody, can get in. This is obviously the entrance is always the weakest part of any fortification. And you can see it there as well. And there's a watchtower, but that's there for I think that's there for decoration purposes. I don't believe that would have been there at the time. Now I did read that this was actually closed, but I do get the impression that it's open, even though it doesn't. So I'll come back a bit later and see if I can get in. So, a fantastic view looking down here. How good it is that we live in times of peace. That's how I see it, and that we can actually enjoy things like this, such as and to, I hope, take the appropriate lessons that history has given us. So anyway, thanks very much for watching this, and I have done a number of videos from this area. I upload every day now, 2000 hours. I'm based in Poland and in Germany. I do original research. I'm not taking from other people. Or if I do, then I say I've taken from other people. So I travel around my motorhome, and so upload every day 2000 hours, and also I know the languages of what I'm actually doing. So if you're getting a video from wherever it may be, then you can be assured that I have used sources in the local language. So I've got these advantages over other people who do videos. I've got a number of disadvantages, one being that I'm not a particularly good speaker. But anyway, thanks for watching. I'm now speaking off the top of my head, and there will be a written, shall I say, documentary where I write it out first and then dictate it. I'll probably try and do that as well. For the moment, from me in Bakaw, or just outside Bakaw, on the former East Prussian Polish border. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.